Yo, everybody, it's the Don. What's up? Real Talk with Don. You know what it is. We're about to go deep into this one. The topic of today is why is it so hard for you to receive love? Ooh. Hey, real talk. Listen, from the moment we're born, and you're looking for your mother and all that kind of stuff, like the first thing we start searching for in this life is reassurance, safety, and nurturing. Like those are like the first thing as babies, like those are the first thing that we're looking for subconsciously. We don't even know that, right? Because we're babies. And the funny thing is that this is a feeling that never goes away. As adults, we like to look at ourselves and be like, we're grown now, so we're self-sufficient, we're self-soothing, we know how to do this, we know how to do that. But that feeling, that desire of safety, nurturing, and care, like we never really, we keep searching for that. And a lot of time we don't even realize that we're searching for that. Have you ever tried to love somebody that doesn't love themselves? They took you through hell and back, didn't they? Have you ever been on the receiving end of love when you weren't loving yourself properly? You probably took that person through hell and back too. It's just how we are as human beings. For whatever reason, the thing that we search for the most is also the thing that we're so scared of. And the thing that we're searching for the most also tends to be the thing that has hurt us the most. Especially if we were really hoping to get it from the wrong people, or if we got it from people and then they disappointed us or they hurt us, all that kind of stuff. It's interesting, man. Like if you didn't grow up with love, you might now realize like the most important thing about love is that it's imperfect. Because we're imperfect, that means that people will disappoint you, people will hurt you, people will do, you know what I mean. And a lot of time, like, it's just because hurt people. A lot of people, like in my past, man, the people who've hurt me the most were probably, I don't think they were bad people. The people that had real love for that ended up hurting me in life, I don't think they were bad people, but I think they genuinely thought that it was a matter of like hurting me before I hurt them or something like that. And if it's kind of like that fear of being seen, that fear of being vulnerable. A lot of times that's what it is. For you to receive love, you need to be vulnerable. And that's ultimately the number one thing that I wanted to talk about today: vulnerability. The reason why you are unable to receive love, or why people are so hard on themselves when it comes to be on the receiving end of love, is because they're afraid of being vulnerable. They're afraid of admitting that they need somebody. They're afraid of admitting that they're sorry when they do the wrong things. They're afraid of admitting that that they've made mistakes. You know what I mean? They're afraid of admitting that they miss people. You know what I mean? That they want to do over, that they want to, all that kind of stuff. And it's annoying because at the end of the day, love is such a easy thing to feel. Either you love or you don't. You know what I mean? And how you act upon it, it just depends on who you are. And unfortunately, people can truly, 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 truly love you, and because they're so insecure about that vulnerability and pride and all that kind of stuff, they might really, really love you, but the only way they know how to show it is by trying to cause mayhem in your life, or by trying to hurt you or try to do all that kind of stuff, which is not love. But that's just a reality. A lot of people are too damaged to love properly, and we gotta leave people where they at when we meet them, and learn how to respect and appreciate that. But ultimately, this whole talk, why is it so hard again for people to receive love? Ultimately, I think it's just a matter of vulnerability. If you've been vulnerable in the past and you've been burned, especially by people that you love and trusted, who had no reason to do you dirty and who could have gone about it this way but decided to go about it that way, that stuff stays with you. But it's so important to sort of like let things go. One thing I realized for myself is that, and there ain't nobody from my past that I resent for nothing. And even though I don't ever want to reconnect with some people, friends or past lovers or whatever, like there's people I will never ever want to reconnect with for reasons that are mine alone. But resentment is definitely not one of them. you know just because eventually, like, all you can really do is be as sincere with yourself in regards to what you give and what you want to receive. And if you're not receiving it, bounce. And if you are receiving it, appreciate it. Appreciate it, because people who are able to love sincerely from the heart without wanting anything in return, without any expectations in return. Those people are rare. They're very rare, you know. I always say that, I have the dopest friends in the world, and you'll probably see them on this channel one day, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But ultimately, I think that's what it is, man. It's the fear of being vulnerable. It's the fear of being seen. It's the fear of admitting. In a lot of ways, I feel like some people feel like they're admitting defeat by, letting people know how much they mean to them and how much their love actually touched them. You know, it's so hard for people to receive love, especially if you're convinced in a deep part of you that you're not meant to receive it. Just internal dialogue and all that kind of stuff. So ultimately, if you meet people who have these issues, the best thing you can do is pray for them and hope that they find love for themselves. That's literally the best thing you can do. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with loving people from a distance if you have to. You know, because you can't. If love is an emotion that, not just an emotion, it's an emotion that sparks a decision and that's reinforcing a commitment. So just in general, if you love people, like, you just do. You don't just wake up and not love them anymore. If you love people and you really do, you just do. And if they can't receive it, sometimes it's okay to love people from a distance. And just appreciate that. And just let them do their thing. While you're doing your thing. And if you are the issue, if you are unable to receive love and to partake in love and to stay in love and to process healthy love, well, work on yourself, go to therapy. Also ask yourself some tough question, man. What's stressing you out so much about a situation when you're being loved? I have such an issue when my friends are praising me, you know what I mean? Because they're like the best artists ever. you know and I work with a lot of artists, and they're the best artists that I know. So when they praise my own art, or my own work and all that kind of stuff, it makes me very uncomfortable, to be honest with you. And but it's love. And why is it so hard to receive that at that moment? It's probably because a part of me feels like, yo, it's a little tough to receive something that I have a hard time giving to myself in these moments, in that moment, especially when it comes to my work. I'm very hard on myself, and it is what it is. you know and man, we're all a little fucked up, and it's okay. And ultimately, that's sort of the rant. Why are people so afraid of receiving love or expressing their love? We're just scared of being vulnerable.